Really quick, everybody, this entire video will be timestamped, so if you don't want to watch whole thing and just get straight into a different topic, please check the pinned comment or the little red bar right down below you. Again, this entire video will be timestamped, and I'd appreciate you guys watching whatever part that you liked. If you're sticking around, guys, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to everything that you missed in MMA this week. This is a series on the channel that we do every single Friday, guys, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date, where I cover all of the UFC and MMA news for you guys, whether it's something really, really big, like something happening with Conor McGregor, or something really little about two fighters that you've never heard about before. We are going to cover all of it in today's video, except for anything that potentially got announced this morning because I'm recording this last night. But you're getting all the MMA news for the week, guys. Again, timestamps are there if you'd like to use them. Thank you so much for being here. Starting off, Paulo, Costa, and Tracy Cortez took over MMA Twitter and the MMA community this whole week because it was really funny. Dude, Paulo Costa is a genius with what he does on social media, between the secret juice or just having his Twitter account making those tweets in general. This guy is a genius at marketing himself. So Paulo Costa, I don't remember actually who posted. I believe it was Paulo, might have been Tracy, but one of the two people, likely Paulo Costa, posted a picture of them together on Twitter, and it looked like that they were hanging out by themselves, which it seems like they were. Did anything happen? We don't know, but the genius that Paulo Costa is left it there just with the picture, nothing else. So the whole MMA community has been just dogging and cooking Brian Ortega. It's like, Brian, that's your girl. And Brian was like so pissed off, dude. You know, Brian probably doesn't have a sense of humor. I don't know him personally, but you get the point. So he's like, oh, I threw her to the curb, I threw her to the trash. And then Tracy ended up like, I didn't say anything bad about you. And everybody's like, Paulo Costa, you absolute dog. And then Paulo Costa just didn't say a thing because he's a genius, man. So good at what he does. But then, like, what was it, like a day or two later, he just came out and said that we're not together, and the whole MMA community needs to stop bullying him. Paulo Costa, man, that guy's funny. So Paulo Costa and Tracy Cortez are not together. They might have gotten together. We don't know that, but nothing's official. Moving on, Petr Yan for his next fight will be changing camps. We don't know what camp he will be moving to, but there has been a couple that have been teased, but nothing is for certain right now. I don't know how I feel about this because Petr Yan, I do believe, is the greatest fighter in the bantamweight division, arguably in bantamweight history. So he's obviously had a lot of success, and the fights that he's lost was insanely close. Does he really need to change anything? Because at his gym right now, he has like some absolute animals at that gym. I love the fighter that Petr Yan is. If I had to guess, obviously it's easy to say from like sitting back at my desk. I am not a professional fighter, obviously. I don't think this is a good change for Petr Yan. I think he's great as is, and he just needs to do just like maybe just a little bit more training. I can't see a change of camp really working out for him, but I love Petr Yan, so I hope nothing but the best for him. Next up, Logan Paul wants to join the UFC, potentially on UFC 300, and he wants to take on Paddy Pimblett, another Paul brother, looking to fight somebody half their size. Paddy Pimblett, actually, to be honest with you, with his injuries, it would line up for a good return on UFC 300. I can see the UFC signing this fight, especially since Logan Paul and Dana White have been interested in actually making a UFC fight in the past, because Dana said Logan does have serious wrestling credentials or serious wrestling experience, whatever he said about that. Dana was interested in the past. I could see this actually happening. I don't like it, though. Very unfortunate. It's going to be CM Punk all over again unless Logan Paul actually does fight Paddy Pimblett, in which case he has a chance because he's giant and probably jacked up on PEDs. So who knows? Regardless, I made a whole video talking about if you want to hear me rant about it. Just same with Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk. I don't like this. I don't like that they're ruining the integrity of the UFC. And speaking of videos I've already made, I made a video talking about Aljamain Sterling and his huge claims. So I'm going to touch on it a little bit in this video. I go on for like 10 minutes in that video if you want to check it out. So Aljamain Sterling came out and said on his YouTube channel that the UFC is forcing him, and he said this, literally forcing me against my will to fight Sean O'Malley at UFC 292. He was talking about how he's not ready, he's injured, he's hurt, his body's not ready for a training camp, and I started talking about like how this is not okay. And Aljamain Sterling, like, if you're not ready to fight, then don't fight, okay? Like, that's not okay. But how did the UFC kind of force his hand? That's where I'm really questioning it. Was Dana White having a gun to your head or something? Was like, sign the paper, Aljamain Sterling. But I have a hard time seeing how they literally forced him to sign it. But if there's some blackmail going on, anything like that, that is absolutely horrible. Aljamain Sterling's health should come first. before fighting Sean O'Malley. It's obvious that the UFC is trying to push him way too soon. Next up, a little bit of a wholesome moment between Israel Adesanya and Jon Jones. So randomly, Adesanya and Jon Jones started posting together. They were together. I don't know where the event was. Probably something at International Fight Week, but I'm not too sure about it. But they were having fun. They were like shadow boxing each other and just like light taps. You can't even call it sparring. They were just like playing around in some room, and then they both posted and said they have nothing but respect for each other. So the beef is officially squashed between Israel Adesanya and Jon Jones. Go check out that video. It's kind of wholesome. Next up, let's talk about the UFC's Bantamweight division, because Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov is obviously a fight that is happening, and that is an absolute fantastic fight. Corey Sandhagen came out and said that Dana White did tell him that the winner of this fight will be the #1 contender. So I would imagine, and I would really imagine, because let's say Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley takes place. Aljamain loses. They are not giving him an immediate rematch, and you can't give Sean O'Malley an immediate rematch. So the winner of this fight will be next for the title and fight the winner of Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling, which will likely be, in my opinion, Aljamain Sterling. I think this is great. It's a big jump up for Umar Nurmagomedov, and Corey Sandhagen absolutely deserves a title fight if he were to get past Umar in this fight. Very, very interesting. I would love to see this, and I would love to see a Corey versus Aljamain rematch. I would absolutely love to see that. Next up, a little bit of sad news. Robert Whittaker is finally mapping out his retirement. He says when he reaches 36 years old, that is the absolute limit. He will be in his prime, and he's going to sit down at that time with his family and discuss what is best, and that is actually like incredibly smart. No matter where Robert Whittaker is in his career, I actually am with him. 36 is like your absolute limit where you can compete at the highest level. I think that is amazing on his end, but he's one of my favorite fighters of all time, and I do not want to think about him retiring. I absolutely love Robert Whittaker, but it's nice to see him. I love when fighters go out on their own. It's not going to be too late at that point. He could probably go out on a win. It's going to be really nice. Maybe on an Australia card. Who knows? Next up, back with Conor McGregor and USADA. Dana White has confirmed that Conor McGregor is still not in the USADA pool, but he is hopeful that the fight between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler will still happen this year, which means Conor McGregor, like he did mess up on Ariel Helwani's show that one time, he's probably going to get some bypass from USADA that we don't know about, and obviously he's on PEDs, so who knows what's going to happen, man. I'm not convinced the fight's going to happen at all, but if Dana White's saying like maybe we could still happen this year, I don't know. Regardless, Conor's not in the pool, the fight's not done, but Dana White still hopes for the fight to be this year. Moving on, really big news. Really big news. George St. Pierre is returning. The UFC had a special Fight Pass announcement last night, and out came GSP. And we're like, what? GSP came out? GSP is going to be competing in submission grappling again. He's going to be taking on contenders. He's going to be taking on anyone. It's going to be awesome. And I made a whole video talking about this. I was really excited for this because I love this as an alternative to him coming out and fighting in the UFC, because he's 42 years old right now. It's not a good thing to just jump him in with some contenders. Like, imagine if he had to fight a guy like Robert Whittaker, because he would fight. Yeah, actually, he'd probably get a title fight. Imagine if he had to fight Israel Adesanya or Leon Edwards. George St. Pierre at 42 years old won't be able to do it. So I love this idea for fighters coming out of retirement, and this is still something that they could compete in without having the brain damage. This is something that he compete at a high level. GSP is going to be active in submission grappling. I thought the dude was done. That is incredible to see. I cannot wait to watch it. I love watching grappling, guys. If you know me, I absolutely love watching grappling. Now, guys, typically this is the part of the video where I talk about all the fight announcements that happened this week, but there was only 2 fight announcements that happened this week. Besides, if you want to talk about, like, there was a little bit of changes on the card, but you guys probably already know that. Jack Della Maddalena and Bo Nickel are both remaining on the card, thankfully. But new fights that got announced is Tai Tuivasa versus Alexander Volkov on September 9th. Incredible fight in the division. I actually don't know who would win that one. I would actually kind of lean towards Volkov, but I'm not sure. That's a fight where anything can happen. We also have Yusaku Kinoshita versus Billy Goff on August 26th. Another very solid fight. Usually we have way more to talk about, but there were only 2 brand new fight announcements this week. Now, guys, it's a really good weekend for fights, okay? If you don't watch LFA, it's on Fight Pass. You got to go check it out. LFA is on tonight. I love watching LFA. You can see these guys before they get in the UFC. Amazing talent in there. Sometimes you'll see Michael Chiesa commentating. He does a fantastic job. I love watching LFA. Amazing, very underrated organization. So I'm going to be watching that. And, of course, we also have UFC 290 tomorrow. I cannot wait to watch it. I love watching the greatness of Alexander Volkanovski. I cannot wait to see what he does. I can't wait for this whole card. The card is stacked from top to bottom, so you cannot miss UFC 290. But also, you should watch LFA tonight. But guys, with that being said, puts an end to this video today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, keep this in mind. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe we have this video out every single Friday, everything that you missed in MMA this week. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you right now. Check them out. I think they are pretty great. One's picked by me, the other one YouTube thinks for that you would like the best. Check one of them out. I think they're pretty great, guys. I will see you either there or in the next video. Take care.